All right, so read the book of Esther with me. I actually tried reading this book like 3 nights ago, maybe even 4 nights ago, but it was before bed, and when I was reading it, it was going from one ear and out the other. So today, I just decided to start recording, but I made it to the second passage, and I just want to go over what was said so far. The names in the Bible, I can read really good, but when it comes to the names, yeah, I'm gonna try my best. Okay, so there's a king. His name is King Ahasuerus, who has sat on a throne in his kingdom, which is in Sushan, a place called Sushan. That's where he was the king at. So during his terms, he was there for 180 days. He had a feast for all his servants and officials, and this feast lasted 7 days. So lasted 7 days. They had really fancy stuff. The one part that I did highlight right here, it says, and they served drinks in golden vessels, and each vessel being different from one another. So that like really sparked something in my mind, because golden vessels, like that just automatically made me think of like the vessels that God has placed on this earth to spread his word. Like we're all given the ability to spread the word. We are all golden vessels, but each one of us is different. Like we all have our own purpose. So that's what I got from that. Golden vessels, each one being different from one another. So like, why did they have to put that specific thing that says each one like that? That really just, sparked my mind. So he is married to Queen Vashti, and she had also made a feast for the women who were in the royal place. I guess the first feast like that he created wasn't for women specifically. It was more for the officials and servants. And I guess there's not women included in that. So on the 7th day, he had brought some people together, and he wanted the queen, which is Queen Vashti, to come in front of everybody, because he wanted to show them her beauty. Like she was beautiful. That's his wife. And she didn't want to do it. It says, but Queen Vashti refused to come to the king's command brought by his eunuchs. Therefore, the king was furious and anger burned in him. So he was upset because he gathered all these people, and he told them to go tell her to wear her royal crown and place her beauty in front of them. And she said, no, I don't want to do this right now. And he was upset. So now me and you are on the same page, okay? Okay. So the king said to the wise men who understood the times, for this was the king's matter toward all who knew the law and justice. Those closest to him being Karshina, Sethor, Admatha, Tarnish, Murs, Mersina, Memucan, and the 7 princes of Persia and Media who had access to the king's presence and who ranked highest in his kingdom. So he had these people who were top tier in his kingdom, okay? What shall we do to Queen Vashti according to the law? Because she did not obey the king's whatever the king's name is, King Ahasuerus, something like that, brought to her by the eunuchs. So they're sitting here trying to figure out, so what should we do to the king since she refused one of your commands? Mind you, this is his queen, this is his wife. I feel like she should have a little, what's the word I'm looking for? She should be able to have talks with him and saying, I don't want to do this. She should have that authority if that's his queen. But the Mucan answered before the king and the princes, Queen Vashti not only wronged the queen, but also the princes and all the people are in the provinces of King Ahasuerus. So I don't really get this part, because she said no to the king. I guess they're including the other people because they were there to see her. So that could be right. For the queen's behavior will become known to all women, so that they will despise their husbands in their eyes when they report. King Vashti commanded Queen to be brought before him, and she did not come. So basically they're saying that she's setting a bad example for other husbands. She might be setting an example for the wives to disobey their husbands and stuff like that, because she is literally disobeying the king by not coming to his authority. So they're saying that she's basically giving influence to other wives that it's okay to say no to their husbands and stuff like that. So that's what they're saying here. For the queen's behavior will be known all to women, so they despise their husbands. She was commanded to come, and she did not come. This very day, The noble ladies in Persia and Media will say to all the king's officials that they have heard the behavior of the queen. So now everybody is everybody is knowing what happened when the queen said no. So it's spreading across. The women are getting to hear this. So we'll see how they react to it. There will be excessive contempt and wrath. If it pleases the king, let a royal decree go out from him, and let it be recorded in the laws of Persia and the Medes, so that it will not be altered, that Vashti shall come no more before the king. Oh, is he breaking up with her? And let the king give her royal position to another who is better than she. So he's about to throw her off the throne. He said, you told me no. Now everybody sees that you're telling me no. So we're about to take your crown. We're about to take your crown. When the king's decree, which he will make, is proclaimed through all the empire, all wives will honor their husbands in both great and small. So he's expecting this, like trying to get rid of her. He's setting an example, like, this is what will happen to you. Your husbands might get rid of you and move on to the next one. Like, I'm not playing that. You're not going to tell me no. I brought all these people out here to see your beauty, and you told me no, you did not come. And everybody's noticing this. No, he's like, no, we're not going to let this slide. So he's making sure all the wives honor their husbands, both great and small. And the reply pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Mimikin. Then he sent letters to all the king's provinces, to each province in its own script, and to every people in their own language, that each man should be the master in his own house and speak in the language of his own people. So he's just re-solidifying that, men, you are the master of your house. So if you are telling somebody to do something, even your wife, they should obey that. That's basically what he's saying here. That's what I'm getting from it. That's what I'm getting from it. Okay, so we're on chapter 2 now. So that was chapter 1. Y'all got chapter 1? Okay. So after these things, when the wrath of the king, this is the king. I'm going to just say the king. I'm not going to say his name. King A, because I don't know how to say it. So after these things, when the wrath of King A subsides, he remembered Vashti, what she had done, and what had been decreed against her. So he's just remembering all these things, what she had done. He's so disappointed. When the king's servants who attended him said, let beautiful young virgins be sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather all beautiful young virgins to Shushan, into the woman's quarter, under the custody of Haggai, the king, in each custody of women. So basically, he's like, bring all the beautiful women. It says, let beautiful young virgins. So bring all the beautiful women here so we can see which one we want. So just having a bunch of options. It says, let the beauty preparations be given to them. Let the young woman who pleases the king be queen instead of Vashti. So he's looking for his new queen. He's looking for another beautiful woman that he can bring forth to people and show them her beauty. The thing that pleased the king, and he did so. In Shushan the cattle, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, and the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, and Benjamite. So Mordecai, that's who we're focusing on, Mordecai. But he's the son of a couple people, I think. Kish had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captives who had been captured with Jechan, king of Judah. So the king of Judah, who's the king of Babylon had carried away. And Mordecai bought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. The young woman was lovely and beautiful, who her father and mother died. Mordecai took her as his own. So there's this new woman enter, and her name is Esther. But it says that he brought up Hadassah. So I guess that's her name, but her name is actually Esther. Both of her parents died, and she was brought under the wing of Mordecai. So it was, when the king's command and decree was heard, and when young men and women were gathered under the custody, that Esther was also taken to the king's palace into the care of the custody of the women. So Esther was brought upon of all the women who were brought to the king's attention, that area, so he could obviously have a new wife. Okay, so Esther was brought. Now the young woman pleased him, and she obtained his favor. And he readily gave her beauty preparations to her beside her allowance. Then 7 choice maidservants were provided for her from the king's palace, and moved her and her maidservants to the best palace in the house of the women. So he saw Esther and he was like, that's the one. He said, that's the one. So Esther, he got her some nice little beauty squad to make her all pretty. Mind you, she was already beautiful. He gave her a nice palace. He gave her allowance. Like, this is going to be the new woman. That's the woman for me. So, yeah. Let me see. Esther had not revealed the people or family, for Mordecai had charged her not to reveal it. So I guess she doesn't want to reveal like where she's from. I guess that's what I'm getting from it. Every day Mordecai paced in front of the court of the women's quarter to learn Esther's welfare and what's happening to her. So he's making sure she's in good hands. That's all I get from that. He's making sure she's in good hands. So he's watching, scoping the scenery. Yeah, he's scoping the scenery out. Each young woman's turn came to go into King A after she had completed 12 months preparation, according to the regulations for the woman. So I guess he's getting a little trial or something. First of all, what? 12 months? So you mean after she done a whole year, another woman's supposed to come in and do another year? So he's basically trialing like which one's going to be the one? Okay. Each woman's turn came after the 12 months preparation, according to the regulations for women, for thus were the days of their preparation apportioned. Oh, so this was preparation. Like, he's basically seeing if they're able to take up that authority, I guess. He gave him 12 months. Okay. So it says 6 months of oil and 6 months of perfumes in preparation for beautifying women. So this preparation was basically just to beautify them. I don't know exactly what the oil of myrrh is, but yeah. Preparation. Thus prepared, each woman went to the king, and she was given whatever she desired to take with her from the women's quarters to the king's palace. So they were able to take certain things with them. In the evening she went, and in the morning she returned to the second house of the woman to custody of Shagas, the king of Anush, who kept the Kanuzas. So I guess there was a different king who kept all the women, and after they was done their trial, they returned back to him. She would not go to the king again unless the king delighted in her and called her by her name. So after they were done these trials, you gotta get your name called. Like, you gotta be the one that the king calls. Like, okay, I've seen what all these women can do and how beautiful they are, but I gotta call her by her name for her to come back. So she could not go back to the king again. There's no second chances. After that 12 months is over, you're done. You're done. Now, when the turn came for Esther, the daughter of Hal, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her as his daughter to go into the king, she requested nothing but what Haggai and King Anush, the custody of women, advised. So I guess she didn't get her turn. Yet. Each woman. So Esther didn't go in yet, because they don't get to go back, and now they're saying that she's going in. So I guess she never had got her turn. Okay, so she brought nothing. Remember when I told you that they were able to bring whatever they wanted? She decided to bring anything but what Haggai, the king of Anush, the custody of women, advised. So she took whatever he advised her to bring. So maybe she got advice from him, like, what do I bring? I'm going to tell you. Esther obtained favor in the sight of all who saw her. So Esther was that girl. Okay. Esther was that girl. So Esther was taken to the king into his royal palace, and in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year, the king loved Esther more than all the other women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins. So Esther was that girl. In the 10th month, the king said, yeah, we don't even got to do the next 2 months, the 12 months. It's you. Give me your finger. Let me put it on. That's basically what he said. He said, yeah, I want her. Okay, so he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Then the king made a great feast, the feast of Esther, for all his officials and servants, and he proclaimed a holiday in the provinces and gave gifts according to the generosity of kings. So basically he said, I'm gonna have a celebration for you because you are the one. He made a feast. Everybody's celebrating. Okay, this next section is still part of chapter 2, but the heading of it says Mordecai discovers a plot. Mordecai is the one who took Esther into his custody. So that's her uncle. Mordecai is basically her guardian. So when all virgins were gathered together a second time, Mordecai sat within the king's gate. Now, Esther had not revealed her family or her people. So at this point, she still hasn't revealed who her family is. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Just as Mordecai had charged her, for Esther obeyed the command of Mordecai as when she brought up by him. So Mordecai told her, don't tell anybody. So she was still keeping his command and obeyed that Mordecai told her not to tell. So in those days, while Mordecai sat within the king's gate, 2 of the king's doorkeepers became furious and sought to lay hands on King A. So Mordecai, he was sitting outside, making sure Esther was cool. If anything happened, he was there. But there was 2 other kings out there, doorkeepers, that became furious and sought to lay hands on the king. Whoa. Yeah, so they wanted to get to him, I think. So the matter became known to Mordecai, who told Queen Esther, and Esther informed the king in Mordecai's name. So Mordecai told Esther, like, there's these 2 guys out here. They real mad. I don't know what for, but they trying to get to the king. They're trying to get to him. So he told Esther, and Esther informed the king. Yeah, Esther informed the king in Mordecai's name. So she didn't let him know that they're family, but she did let him know that this is the guy who heard this, that these guys are trying to get their hands on you. Okay? And when the inquiry was made into the matter, it was confirmed, and both were hanged on a gallows, and it was written in the book of Chronicles in the present king. Both were hanged on gallows. That doesn't sound too good. I don't think they won that battle. They were hanged on gallows. When I think of hanged, it didn't end out very good for those 2 people who were trying to lay their hands. Like, why do you think you were going to be able to lay your hands on a king without being, So they didn't win that battle. Okay, now we're on to chapter 3. I think this is the last one I'm going to do. Oh, there's so much. Okay, chapter 3. Yeah, we're going to do chapter 3, and then we're going to stop right there. So y'all get the plot. I hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. I'm trying to tell y'all the story as best as I can. Okay, so he hung the 2 people that were trying to get to him. The king also knows Mordecai's name now because he's the one who told them. Okay, this is chapter 3, and the title says Haman's Conspiracy Against the Jews. I don't know who Haman is yet, but we're going to see. Okay, so after the things King A promoted Haman, the son of Hamid, and Agite, and advanced him and set his seat above all princes who were with him. So I haven't heard Haman before. I haven't heard this name in the first 2 chapters. So I guess this is somebody he promoted and he made above all the other people. So apparently he's that guy. Apparently he's that guy. Let's figure out why he's that guy. So all the king's servants who were within the king's gate bowed and paid homage to Haman, for so the king had commanded concerning him. But Mordecai would not bow or pay homage. Mordecai. Now you setting yourself up for failure, because why are you not bowing down to that man? Everybody else them bowed down to that man. The king has already made him above all people. Why are you not bowing down? Like, he's setting himself up for failure. Okay. He didn't bow down, apparently. Then the king's servants who were in the king's gate said to Mordecai, why do you transgress the king's command? Y'all know what happened to the last person that transgressed the king's command? He got a new wife. He kicked her out. He said, yeah, bye, new wife, Esther, here you come. So they talking to Mordecai now. Mind you, Mordecai is basically Esther's dad. It's the uncle. But Mordecai, why are you doing this? Please, like, now it happened. When they spoke to him daily, he would not listen to them. And they told it to Haman to see whether Mordecai's words would stand. For Mordecai had told them that he was a Jew. So Mordecai still was not bowing down. And they ended up telling Haman, who's the best man of the king. Like, they ended up telling Haman. And Mordecai told them that he was a Jew. A Jew. Okay. So when Haman saw that Mordecai did not bow down to him, Haman was filled with wrath. So now we got Haman mad. Haman's the king's best man. So now that Haman's mad, he might go to the king and be like, Mordecai, this man is next. Mind you, Mordecai helped the king. So I hope the king takes this into consideration, please. Especially since this is Esther's guardian. Like, please give him some grace. Please give him some grace. So he was filled with wrath. Haman was filled with wrath. He's mad at Mordecai. But he disdained to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for that he had told the people, for that had told him of the people of Mordecai. He disdained to lay hands on Mordecai. So he said, I'm not going to lay hands on you, for they had told him of the people of Mordecai. I think that's kind of what I was saying, but it's not really clicking how I needed to click. But he didn't lay hands on him. He didn't lay hands on him. He gave him some grace. Haman sought to destroy all Jews who were throughout the whole kingdom, the people of Mordecai. So he said, I'm not going to lay hands on you, but I'm going to touch your people. He said, I'm going to touch your people. I'm not going to touch you, but since you disobeyed me, I'm going to let you go and watch what happens to your people. Dang. Okay. So, yeah. In the first month, which is the month of Nisan? This looks like Nisan, but it says Nisan. I hope you're following along with me. Make sure y'all have your Bibles out. I should have been said that, but if y'all can see what I see, that'd be great. Which is the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King A. The cast per, that is the lot before Haman, to determine the day of the month until it fell on the 12th month, which is the month of Adar. So in the first month, the cast per before Haman to determine the month and day. So they're trying to figure out something within months and days. I don't fully understand this, but it's coming together. We're doing this together, okay? We're doing this together. Then Haman said to the king, there is certain people scattered and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of your kingdom. Their laws are different from all other peoples, and they do not keep the king's laws. So remember, Mordecai told them that he was a Jew. So I guess being a Jew, you don't have, they have certain commandments that they don't have to bow down to certain people. Because I was wondering why he told them, like, what was the significance of telling them that you're a Jew just because you're not bound down? So he took it upon his hands and said, there are certain people scattered in this kingdom who are not going to obey your commands because they are Jews. Wow. Therefore, it is not fitting for the king to let the people remain. So he's like, I don't think you want these people in area if they're not going to command you. So what should we do with them? Basically, what should we do with the Jews? That's basically what he's saying. If it pleases the king, let a decree be written that they be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver in the hands of those who do the work to bring it to the king's treasury. So he's like, I'll pay the people. Basically, he's saying, you can be the hitman, and I'm gonna give you 10,000 bucks to do this work for me. That's crazy. That's so crazy. Mind you, now that I'm thinking about it, Mordecai told Esther not to reveal his family because maybe Esther's a Jew too. This now new queen that the king has, he loves her so deeply, she's a Jew too. She's literally a Jew too. Wow, that just clicked. So the king took his signet ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, and the son of Hammedatha, I don't know, the enemy of the Jews. And the king said to Haman, the money and the people are given to you to do with them as seems good to you. So he's like, I'm putting this in your hands. Take care of it and do what you want. That's basically what he's saying. For the king's scribes were called on the 13th day of the first month, and a decree was written among to all that Haman commanded. To the king's satraps, to the governors who were over each province, to the officials of all people, to every province according to a script, and to every people in their language. In the name of the king, it was written and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by the couriers into all the king's provinces to destroy, kill all the Jews, both young and old, little children, women, in one day, on the 13th day. Dang, not the kids. Not the Jews, period, but the kids. Man, this is crazy. And it says, and to plunder their possessions. So not only are they trying to kill them, but they're trying to take all that they have because they're Jews and they won't. See what Mordecai done started. If he just bowed down to that man, you could have bowed down to that man right there and then maybe not respected him later, but I don't know. Mordecai, please. Oh, I know I said I was stopping at chapter 4, but it says, the title of it says, Esther agrees to help the Jews. Ooh. Of the document was to be issued as law in province, being published for all people, that they should be ready for that day. The carriers went out, hastened by king's command, and the decree was proclaimed. So the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Shushan was perplexed. So he's basically saying they should be ready for that day. He's putting it out to the world that the Jews, you're in danger right now. You're in danger right now. They had a little drinky drink. This is crazy. This video is 28 minutes long. I think I might stop here. But the next chapter, chapter 4, Esther agrees to help the Jews. Like, I want to read this actually so bad right now. This is crazy. But Esther's going to help the Jews. Esther is a Jew. Is Esther a Jew? That's her family. Mordecai is a part of her family. That's her uncle. Meaning the brother of her mom and dad who passed away. So she is a Jew. I'm actually so glad that I was able to break this down, because when I was reading it 4 nights ago, it wasn't clicking how it's clicking now. But me being able to say it out loud, I hope you're understanding how I'm breaking it down. Even though I can't really pronounce these names in here, I really hope that you're able to understand. But this story is good. This is good. Make sure y'all come back so we can move into how Esther... Thank you. We'll move on to Esther agreeing to help the Jews. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Subscribe.